Too bad we have to end the Stanley Kubrick reviews on this one. So Barry Lyndon is a Stanley Kubrick film from 1970 something, and it's about a guy named Barry, Barry, and he goes out and he has to leave his town because he killed a guy because he wanted to marry his cousin, and he was gonna marry the other guy was gonna marry his cousin that he wanted to marry. So he killed him in a duel, killed him allegedly, and then ran off. Got robbed by some guy. Joined the British Army. Faked being an officer, and some other I don't care. So yeah, it's basically a story about this guy's life, and I like life stories. I like Forrest Gump and I don't know, other stories about people's lives. They're interesting. It's cool to see a person go from whatever and become this person. I like that. But here's the music. I really like the musical score in the movie. It's good. It fits the tone of the movie. I like it. The costumes and everything. The costumes are really great in the movie. Like I said in my Spartacus, when I watch a historical movie, I want the things to look real and stuff. And cinematography is pretty good in the movie too. Kind of like in 2001, almost every frame in this movie you could take that frame, put it up on your wall, and because it looked like it could be a painting, So the movie is pretty beautiful, I'd have to say, but it's kind of boring too. This is definitely my least favorite Stanley Kubrick movie I've seen. It feels like forever. I'm how far are we in this movie? 2.5? An hour? We got two more of these? Oh gosh. Character Barry. I wasn't too into him. His story was kind of interesting. He just goes from this normal guy and ends up being an aristocrat and kind of a terrible person in the end. So I guess that's something. But he's kind of a creep. Like I said earlier, he wanted to marry his cousin. I don't know I guess that was acceptable back in 18th century England or Ireland. And then he goes off with some lady. Some lady takes him in one night, and she's like, "Oh, I'm married and here's my kid." And then and then he's just kind of a creep, honestly. So yeah, I was kind of not really cheering for him the whole movie because he's kind of a jerk too. Because it's kind of like his downfall, kind of like a Citizen Kane, but not as interesting. and nobody else in the movie was really that interesting. Yeah, I think this movie would put most people to sleep. Because 2001, because I guess these movies are a little bit similar. They're very, very good-looking movies. They don't have great characters. But in this movie, there's really not much to it. I mean, I'm sure there is a lot, but this movie doesn't really make you think like 2001, and it's not as amazing, So it's just kind of boring. It's just there. I don't know. I didn't really like this movie very much. I mean, it was well made, of course. Stanley Kubrick's not gonna make a terribly made movie, but I feel like he made some good movies in his career, But he didn't make very many either. I feel like he could have made a lot better movies if he just would have had some better stories and better characters in his movies. Because, like, Spartacus, which that one he didn't have much control over the story and stuff, but this one, there's, I don't know, mainly those three, but the characters and the stories are just a little bit weak, and I just kind of don't care. Because he could have made a lot of really good movies. Because, like, Spielberg, he has a few bad movies, but he has a ton of really good movies, too. And I don't know. But the guy is an amazing filmmaker. You gotta give him a lot of credit. You know, even though some of his stories aren't the greatest. But, so Barry Lyndon, I'll give it like a 7. If you like old English, you know, old European history, I think you'd love the movie, you know. But other than that, I'm tired because it made me want to go to sleep. So that's all I gotta say about Stanley Kubrick. Really, you should, if you're into filmmaking at all, look this guy up. He's a very interesting person. You know, not just his movie making career, but just as a person, very interesting. Apparently, he got in a fight with Kirk Douglas. I think it was on Paths of Glory. I think one person ended up throwing a chair at each other. He would like bully his people, like Shelley Duvall in The Shining, to get her to. And he was a very interesting person. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Goodbye. I almost forgot to say that this whole movie was shot with natural light and with either the sun or candles. Like all the indoor scenes at night, all shot with candlelight. That's crazy. Because I can't even get the lighting right when there's 5 lights on me. Like, that's crazy. At least I'm pretty sure it was all shot with candle. But yeah, that's crazy.